welcome everyone to Celestia Core Devs Call 41. Today, I think we just have a few things to talk about. First being the Mocha V6 upgrade. That is not what I meant. I meant the Matcha upgrade for mainnet. This has already been done on Mocha. I can edit the issue after. But the Matcha upgrade for mainnet beta is scheduled to pretty much start this week. I guess it would make sense to review just quickly the Matcha upgrade. That's been done for a minute. Okay, so yeah, I guess I wanted to check here on a schedule. We've been putting this out in advance. I guess for context, if you're watching for the first time in a while, maybe we're planning out our network upgrades in advance and setting a tentative schedule. So this is the schedule that we aim for. It's definitely not guaranteed because as we work through bugs on Arabica and Mocha, we might need to fix those before pushing things further. So this schedule has been updated a few times, and currently the plan is to have a release for Celestia app and Celestia node tomorrow for mainnet, and I want to check on this call if that's still the plan from engineering. So Callum, is that still what we're looking at, or are we going to adjust this a little bit?
I was just discussing with Evan beforehand. So there's like one bug that we're kind of like looking at the moment, but it's not too detrimental that it should block the mainnet release. However, if we do find a trivial solution for it, it would make sense just to wait a little bit until we have the release that is without this bug. So that we'll find out by this evening whether we sort of fix that, else we would just progress with the current timeline.
Sweet. Yeah, and I guess yeah, that's perfectly fine. We'll update this if it changes, and yeah, if you're subscribed to email updates or anything on here, you'll get that as well. So I guess another thing to cover briefly is that Arabica is down right now. This was due to storage sizing issues, or storage issues and resizing disks. So there's, I believe, 2 of the 4 validators on Arabica are back up. And hopefully within the next day, we should know a little bit more about this. Yeah, that's pretty much all I had for those 2 statuses. And then another thing that I want to bring up, but I'd like other people to weigh in on, is the Horcrux situation. I believe there was a double signing on Mocha recently. I think it was due to Horcrux. And I believe there's one on mainnet as well. From what I understand, yeah, I want to stop there.
I guess I can discuss it.
Yeah.
Horcrux doesn't have proper watermark protection. So there's clearly something wrong in that it should never double sign. That should never occur in any scenario, even if there's a bug in common. But it is. So it's not advised to use. Like, it's also not being maintained. So it's strongly advised not to, like, I wouldn't use it for my validator. It's still up to the validators to decide if they want to use it or not. We're still keeping a fork. Like, we don't want to force a sudden break in how validators have their setup. But they should have their original key still. If they have their original key, that means they can use a different private validator, so that you can just use the file one. That's probably the simplest. You can also set up TMKMS if you want some of the protections that Horcrux gives you, but not quite all of them. That's pretty much about it. In V7, I don't think that we're even going to have support for Horcrux. I mean, there's nothing that we can do to stop a validator from using it, but Horcrux also slows down signing significantly. So especially if you have your shards of the key distributed around the world, which is great. Like that's a nice property. However, it also slows down signing significantly by like upwards of 200 milliseconds to even a second. And that could be very problematic for other features that require signing as well.
So I guess it sounds like pretty much recommendation from core devs is to not use Horcrux anymore.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah, cool. I guess, thank you, Evan. Does anyone else have anything they want to add to that? Cool. I guess not. Do we need to have these working groups? It feels silly to ask if we have updates every time and then we don't have updates. Or do we need to like maybe talk about rearranging these working groups so that they actually are useful? Or should we just like scrap them from the agenda for now and just revisit?
Yeah, I go with the approach of not having them there unless there is something that comes up.
Yeah.
In which case it can be added just to the general agenda. We don't need to have a specific tab for the working group updates.
Seems good. That being said, I don't think there are any updates. So I want to check if there's anything else you want to talk about today. Any questions you have, or I don't know, something you're working on you want to share? I'm gonna take this silence as a no. I think we can go ahead and meet again on November 12th, 11th at the same time. I think daylight savings happens before then, so I'll just put the time in UTC. It might be plus or minus an hour for you. Actually, no. But yeah, thank you again, everyone. Have a good rest of your day, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.